Welcome back to Low Stress Math with Mrs. Bono. We are on Book 3, Chapter 6, Transformations, Lesson 5, Rotation. So I guess we're going to spin this right round. Okay, I want you to look, pause the video, and look at these two shapes and tell me what's similar and what's different. You can do this. All right, welcome back. I hope you did the warm-up on your own, and let's talk. So what's similar? Well, looking at those two triangles, I would say they are the same shape. What else? Same size. And that makes them congruent. So triangle, put your glasses on, Bono, so you can read the letters on the triangle. XYZ is congruent to triangle X prime, Y prime, Z prime. Anything else in common? Nope. They have different orientations. This one's pointing up, that's pointing down. What else is different about them? I know they're in a different location. All right. So, let's see what's happening here. X prime and X, that has a 2 and a 6. That is a negative 6 and a 2. Well, they do have similar numbers, but some of the coordinates are negative. That's interesting. Is that a similarity or a difference? We'll get back to that. Okay, let's take a look down here. A rotation spins a figure around a fixed point called the center of, you guessed it, rotation. The center of rotation will be the center of rotation will be the origin, or the point, and we will rotate in increments of, we're going to do degrees, 90 degrees. So it's going to be 90 degrees and 180 degrees and 270 degrees. Those are increments of 90, and you'll see why in a minute. Rotations are also called spins. Okay, and the symbol for rotation, remember we used a little r for reflection? We're going to use a big R for rotation. And down on the bottom, we're going to put the degrees. So in other words, a big R and a 90-degree rotation, a big R and a 180-degree rotation, and a big R and a 270-degree rotation. Now, all of these are going to be going counterclockwise. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Orientation always changes with a rotation. And I spelled changes wrong. It must be morning. Ah, dear. One of these videos I will get through the whole thing and spell every word right, even little words. All right, so orientation changes. Now, figures can be rotated, and this is clockwise. Imagine there's a clock here, and you can see how it's spinning around clockwise. I didn't pick those 4 numbers out of random. If I start up here, 90 degrees is 3, 180 degrees is 6, and another 90 degrees for 270. I picked those numbers on purpose. This is clockwise. So if I have a 12 up here, and a 3, and a 6, and a 9, ooh, wait a second, I'm going opposite of the clock. That is counterclockwise. Now I'm going to add a couple of numbers. If you start up here, this would be, oh, sorry, wrong one. I'll get back to that in a minute. If you start up here, this one would be 90 degrees, and this would be 180 degrees, and this would be 270 degrees. Now, if I'm going the opposite way, then this one would be the 90 degrees, and this would still be 180 degrees, but this one would be 270 degrees. So look here, clockwise 90 degrees is the same as counterclockwise 270 degrees. We're going to do a bit more with that soon. All right. Graph a line segment KM using the coordinates 2, 1, so 2 to the right, up 1, that's going to be K, and 4, 5, 4 to the right and up 5. Remember, the first number tells you right, left, the second one tells you up, down. So that is KM. Now, listen, that was Miss Malloy did that, Kelly Malloy, because KM. I would have used LB, because, you know, Bono. So there's my, and I'm going to go clockwise. Let's think. We just looked at it. Let's peek back. Clockwise is a turn to the right. So we are going to take this, and we are going to turn it to the right. It's going to land down here. So K prime and M prime. The way you do this is you reverse the coordinates and negate them. Let's do this a different way. I've got an idea. Yeah, you do, Bono? Yeah, I do. All right, here. Put this right above there. And you can see through it, right? Here is my K. And here is the M. And I wish I had a better paper, but there's my KM. Now, what kind of angle is here? That's a right angle. 90 degrees is a right angle. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to go 90 degrees clockwise. Now, I can see through here, but you can't. So, +1, -2, write it down. And this one is +5, -4. That's just me looking through. So now, let's graph those 2 points. 1, -2 for K prime, and 5, -4 for M prime. And just, and you can see that that made a 90-degree rotation. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do 180 degrees. So from here, 180 degrees puts me at -2, -1, and -4, -5. That's 180 degrees. So -2, -1, K, double prime, -4, -5, M, double prime. And I probably, where did I, oh, I got the card right in my hand. I'm not using a ruler because I lost my ruler again. So we'll just use the side of this pizza card. All right, now 270 is going to put me here. I want you to notice that the center of rotation here is the origin. This is 0, 0, the origin. So I am rotating around the origin. Now K is at 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2. -1, 2. Don't get that wrong, Bono. And M is at -5, 4. Now I gotta go graph that. -1. Did I do that right? Yeah, I did. And -5, +4. I'm gonna double check. Yeah, I did that right. Wow. Look at all remembering stuff here, Bono. And closest, K triple and K triple. M triple. Come on, Bono. Why? Why you make a messy? You own whiteout. It's your paper. You can white out all over it. M triple prime. Okay, so you can see it's kind of spinning around the origin. So now it says, what's the rule? So the rule to get from this one to this one, what happened? I had 2, 1, and now I have 1, -2. So my x and y switched. So now I have y and x. And something else happened. The sign of the second number changed. So down here, where it says clockwise 90 degrees, this stands for clockwise. CW is clockwise. So what happened clockwise? I now have switched, and the y and the x are in opposite spots, and I had to multiply that times -1. That's called a negate. We'll get back to that. Now, 90 degrees counterclockwise. That would be the same as 270 clockwise. So what happened here? Well, again, they've switched, and I have the y in front of the x. But this time, the y is the one that was negated. So I have -1 times y. So -1 times y, and then nothing happened to the x. So clockwise and counterclockwise, two different things happen. Now, let's see, 180 degrees. They stayed in the same order, x and y, but now both of them are negative. So keep my x and y in the same order, but they both were multiplied by -1. And with 180 degrees, whether I go to the right or go to the left, clockwise or counterclockwise, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter which way I spin. I'm going to get the same one if it's 180 degrees. So this one will also be -1 times x and -1 times y. This one, I have x and y, and remember, they're going to switch. So this is 270 clockwise or 90 counterclockwise. It's the same thing. So 270 clockwise and 90 counterclockwise are going to be -yx. So and the other one, counterclockwise, 270, 90, 180, 270, counterclockwise is the same as 90 clockwise. So it's the one that's up on top here, y -x. Don't memorize this. Absolutely under no circumstances should you memorize this. You're going to see it a lot, but it's not something worth memorizing, because if you have graph paper, you can always figure it out from graph paper. So take a second, double check that you're multiplying the right thing by -1, and let's try the next page. Excessive, here we go. Now you have to look at the prime to know which way you're rotating. This is the pre-image, this is the image. So this is the pre-image, and this is the image. How do I know? Because the one with the prime is the image. And this is going from here to here, 90 degrees, and it went clockwise. How do I know it was 90 degrees? Because it's only one box. So if I'm here, right, it's going to go 90 degrees that way. Now, what about this? What's happening here? Well, this is the pre-image, and this is the image. And which way is it going? It's going to the left, which is counterclockwise. So 90 degrees counterclockwise. We're going to talk in a second, low stress. This one, this is the pre-image. And this is the image. And what happened? It went 180 degrees, and it went 180 degrees. So it doesn't matter. Both of them are the same. Now, this one went 90 degrees. And this one went 90 degrees. Now that's if it went in the 90 degrees. What if it went the opposite way? Then it's 1 box, 2 box, 3 boxes. That's 270, and that would be clockwise, 270. This one, if I started here, 1 box, 2 box, 3 boxes. Now I'm going counterclockwise because, you know, clocks go to the right, not to the left. So that would be 270 counterclockwise. Use the rotation of the triangle to answer the following questions. Well, ABC was rotated. If it went clockwise, I think it went 90 degrees. I think it went counterclockwise 90 degrees. Why do I think that? Oh, sorry, clockwise 90 degrees. A is going down to the right to A prime. So let's say that that was 90 degrees. And that would have been 90 degrees going around the same direction as the clock, right? If this is 12, 3, 9, 3, 6, 9, it's going to the right, that would be clockwise. Now, if I'm going the opposite direction, if I start here and I go counterclockwise, that would be 270 degrees counterclockwise. Fill in the coordinates. Okay, so the original image is A, B, C, with my B being slightly cut off. And that's at 2, 3. And B, which is at 5, 8. And C, which is at 6, 1. And where did it move to? Well, I'm going to say, here we go, A prime at 3, -2. So they switched, and you negated the second number. B prime, it's going to switch. So B prime is at 8, -5. They switched, and you negate the second. Why did I write 2 instead of 5? Look, I made it a whole page and only made a billion mistakes. Here we go. -5. And C prime is at 1, -6. So they switched and negate the second number. All right. Describe how the rotation affected the values of the ordered pairs. Well, the coordinates switch. Switch places. And you negate the second number. Now, I said I would get back to negate. I wanted to have more space to write. That's why I said I'd get back to it. Look at all this beautiful space. I can write everything in here. So the word we're working with here is negate. And that just means change the sign of the number. Now remember how we discussed multiplying by -1 to change the sign of the number? That's what negate means. So change the sign of the number by multiplying by -1. So to negate 6, you would multiply it by -1. So this would be negate 6. -1 times 6 is -6. To negate -4, -1 times -4 would be +4. So multiplying by -1 changes the sign of the number, and the official term for that is negate. So graph polygons ABCD with those coordinates on the coordinate plane. Then we're going to go 90 degrees clockwise. So these are all positive numbers. A at 3, 2. B at 3, 6. C, which isn't written up here, but that's C, at 5, 6. And D at 5, 2. Now, on the coordinate plane, we're going to go clockwise, so we're going in this direction. That's clockwise. 90 degrees, right here. Now, I've got to connect my things here. And here we go. One of the bonuses of using a card instead of a ruler is you could do 2 sides at once. There we go. There's my rectangle, and I'm going clockwise. And what does that mean? Well, let's do it down here first. CW stands for clockwise, 90 degrees. Now, I'm going to look back and say, I just did this 90 degrees. I switched my coordinates, and I negated the second one. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to switch my coordinates to get 2, 3, and I'm going to negate, change the sign. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. Negate the second one. So let's do this one. I'm going to get 6, 3, but I still have to negate the second one. And 6, 5, negate the second one. And this one is going to be 2, 5, and I'm going to negate the second one. So back up here, I'm going to graph these. And I'm going to use red. Here we go. So 2, -3 for A prime. 6, -3 for B prime. 6, -5 for C prime. And 2, -5 for D prime. Yay. All right, just connect those with my imaginary ruler. Try to be straight. And that is a 90 degrees clockwise. The next one is 90 degrees counterclockwise. So I'm going to go this way. I would start with the original, and now, see, because it says rotate the original polygon 90 degrees counterclockwise. You have to look to see if there's any primes or no primes or what, but we're going back to the original, and now what do we do for that one? We're going to switch them, and we're going to negate the first coordinate. So it's going to look like this, only instead of the second one being negated, the first one is going to be negated. So still switched. So now it's going to be, instead of 3, 2, negative 2, 3, because I have to negate this first coordinate. So I'm going to do that for all of them because, you know, that's how that's going to work. This is going to be negative 6, positive 3. This is going to be negative 6, positive 5. And this is negative 2, positive 5. I just switch the coordinates and I negate the first one. So let's graph that. Negative 2, 3, A prime. I wanted to do this in green. Negative 6, 3, B prime. Double prime Bono, there's 2 primes there. Negative 6, 5 for C double prime, and negative 2, 5 for D double prime. All right, connect those dots. And that's 90 degrees counterclockwise. So clockwise was to the right, and counterclockwise was to the left. Now the easy one, 180 degrees. You just negate both numbers. So I'm going to keep the numbers in the same order from the original, only now both of them get negated, 3 and 2. So it's going to be original order, negative for both of them. So original order, 3, 6, but negate both of them. And maybe use, there we go. And keep the original order and negate both of them. And 5, 2. Keep the original order and negate both of them. So now let's go up and graph this. Here we go. Just negate all the coordinates. So negative 3, negative 2 for A triple prime, negative 3, negative 6 for B triple prime, negative 5, negative 6 for C triple prime, and negative 5, negative 2 for D triple prime. Play connect the dots. Wish I had a slightly better pen. And here we go. That's a 180-degree rotation. And it could be clockwise or counterclockwise. It doesn't matter for that one. This one is 180 degrees clockwise and 180 degrees counterclockwise. Okay, we will do more because there's always more. All right, last page. If a cat is rotated 90 degrees, he will be very angry. Oh, wait, no. What will the coordinate of C prime be? 90 degrees clockwise. What did we do for 90 degrees clockwise? We switched the numbers and we negated the second one. So we're going to switch the numbers for C prime. And 3, negative 4 is going to be negative 4, 3. Now, we are changing the sign of the second number because 90 degrees clockwise, I'm going to keep looking back, it's okay, becomes negative 4, negative 3. What will C be? C prime is negative 4, negative 3. Do I have to do the others? No, I'm not graphing it. It only asks for one coordinate. Why am I going to do extra work? Describe what would happen to a figure if it was rotated 360 degrees. And how would you represent that algebraically? Well, let's say this is what I'm rotating, and I'm going to rotate it about this point in the middle. 90, 180, 270, 3, oh, it went right back to the same spot. So what happens if you go 360 degrees? Full circle. Nothing changes. So that would be x, y, going to, shockingly, x, y. Nothing changes. Triangle ABC has these coordinates. Mary will rotate it using this rule. Okay, so you're switching them and negating the second. So let's see, switching them and negating the second. So what does switching and negating the second one mean? That's a 90 degrees counterclockwise. So 90 degrees counterclockwise. No, Bono, 90 degrees clockwise. Can't get away from that. Here we go. So, and describe the possible degrees and direction of rotation. I think it's 90 degrees clockwise because it switches and you are changing the second number. So, 90 degrees clockwise or 270 degrees counterclockwise. Okay. That's what it wanted. List the coordinates for A prime. I'm going to switch them. And I'm going to change the sign of the second number. So, -1, and now -5 becomes +5. If you wanted to do it multiplying by -1, you could, but negate just means change the sign. Summarize the effects of rotating by writing sometimes, always, or never in each blank. Rotations preserve congruence of a figure, always. You can spin it as much as you want. It will always preserve the congruence of a figure. Rotations always change the orientation of a figure. Sometimes change it, because if it's 360, it'll be pointed in the same direction. So I'm going to go with sometimes. It only stays the same if it's 360 degrees. Okay, so now guess what? Homework, everybody's favorite, page 57. I'll talk to you soon.